All right, team. Hey, it is Monday night, January 15th. My name is Dee Corchin. Glad you guys are here for our team time. And I was just sharing, it is Martin Luther King Day. So we are going to start with a 2-minute inspiration from Dr. King himself. So just bear with me for a second while I share that.
The most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have, as a basic principle, the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. Once you discover what it will be, set out to do it, and to do it well. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by signs that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Finally, in your life's blueprint must be a commitment to the eternal principles of beauty, love, and justice. Well, life for none of us has been a crystal staff, but we must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving.
So powerful, isn't it? It's really a great lead up to some of the things that we're going to talk tonight. I hope you had your volume that you could adjust it on your end. So like we always do, really wanted to hear from some people on our team tonight. So as we got our surveys in from the Revive and Thrive, our coach challenge, one stood out, somebody who is doing some traveling and some various things. So Shelley, would just love for you to share your journey so far and how you're making it happen despite some challenges.
Thanks. I am in Key West right now, but I've stayed on plan the whole time. It has been and it's been easy. It really has. We planned ahead. Part of what makes it easy is having a supportive person I'm traveling with who knows I'm trying to stick with some health goals, and so she's over here encouraging me. Anyhow, I just did a lot of planning before we came. I brought all my fuelings, enough to do 5 and 1 every day, which I've done, except one day I had to do 4 and 2 because I burned so many calories I thought I needed another meal. But other than that, the thing that's stuck out for this challenge is how much easier it was this time to be 100% on plan than it was 2.5 years ago when I first went on program. I was the food didn't taste good, nothing tastes, it felt like I was missing out. And this time I pulled up recipes I've tried in the past. I've just really made an effort. My husband's been extremely supportive, and I think that makes all the difference. I haven't stopped living at all. I didn't change anything other than the mindset that I'm going to eat healthy. And it's not, I never felt like I'm doing less, but that I just feel better and stronger every single day. So here I am on Duval Street.
Love that. You are one smart woman to go as far south as you can to stay warm with all this cold weather, but so inspiring. And I think the couple of key things was just hearing about a shift in mindset, right? From a few years ago, it's about the food. It doesn't taste good. Sounds like, feels like restriction to I can make this work, right? And a good plan. So awesome. That is inspiring. Just a reminder, we do have right after this call, we're going to roll right into our week 2 huddle up. It'll be short for our Revive and Thrive participants, and we're going to do some live drawings on there. So that is always fun. So what we want to do tonight is help you stay in the know. There's a lot happening where we and Compass Crew, we're trying to provide a lot of tools so that we can rise with excellence, as Dr. King said, and Dr. A eloquently said on the Impact 2024 conference this weekend, the summit. He just talked about, he and Dr. Dan Bell talked about the time that now's the time, like we have to raise our coaching game, right? With what we do as coaches and coaching the 4 components of the program, and really marketing and waving our flag of who we are is more important than ever. So there's going to be a lot of tools that are going to support that. What I'd like to do, because there were a couple things from the Impact 2024 that stood out to me, I would love, it was something Jamil did. And Jamil said, put your pen down, hold your hands up. So everybody do this, hold your hands up for a second. All right. And then I want you to type on the keyboard in the chat, "This is my business." So 2 hands are typing. And then after you type that, "This is my life." And after you type that, "This is my health." Because he and JC Dornick really talked about personal responsibility. And we all have different things that impact us, right? We're all navigating this business, our health, our life, along with life and challenges and all the things that we have, as well as our own insecurities. And I loved hearing Jamil talk about his insecurities. He said that little voice that tells you you're not good enough. Who am I? How can I do this? Imposter syndrome. He said he calls his little guy Stanley, the little man. And if you have a name for yours, I call mine Little D. Little D is the insecure D, the girl that doesn't think she can. And then Brave D is Braveheart D. You guys gave me that award, so I claimed it. But if you've got a name for you, it's just important to notice when those voices come up that it's not really you, that's just some inner child or some part of you. But another thought process can replace that and we can move forward. But he talked about the enemy, our really enemy of success being complacency. And I think that's why Revive and Thrive came at such a great time, right? That we had started to slip with our values and we say, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. My business is down a little bit. It's okay. I've put a little bit of weight on. And I love the way he did this analogy that once we start to compromise our values, things start moving in the opposite direction of what we want, right? Because the truth is that core value is still there, but the scale is moving up, income's going down, right? Things like that. So those were some things that really stood out to me. And I would love just to take a moment, 1 or 2 people, if you were on Saturday, maybe something that stood out to you, whether it's a quote or just a message or an inspiration. I see some of you pulling your notes. Lucy, thank you.
I think, well, I shouldn't say I think, one of the big things that really stood out to me was DJ and Danae, DC and DJ and Danae. The exercise where we fold the paper, and on one side you're putting all the lies, all the things that we tell ourselves that we're not, and then on the opposite side, I am. And that was so powerful. And then just her passion, you could tell how deeply she felt about what she was saying. And I think the energy when they were talking was so powerful, that it was hard to not just sit still and sit in that moment and really reflect on yourself as to what is it that I'm telling myself. Why am I looking at myself right now? But
we spotlighted you.
And so for me, that was, I don't know, it stirred something in me to go through that exercise and think of all that I am. And you know, that's for me, that was it. That was it for me.
Beautiful. You know, it's so often, as with anything, right, with life, if we don't slow down and pause and think about these things, that's all running in the undercurrent, right? It's all running in our subconscious. So being able to actually write that down, and then what the truth is, what the truth is. All right, real quick, we'll have Vicki, you were up next.
So one of the things I wrote down, with a little caveat, I would have never said that I felt like a victim, but when I really thought about it, that's what I was doing. So it was like feeling like a victim is a sign of entitlement. It kind of slapped me across the face. Life is full of hurt, challenges, and difficulties. It's like, I'm not the only one. And that was just really, I mean, that really that just grabbed me, like, ye who hates entitlement are feeling entitled.
Yeah. And it kind of parallels what you shared this morning too, of, you know, gratitude for what we had, but realize the world is changing, right? And you know, there was something, I was either on Saturday or I heard it elsewhere this weekend, but just a reminder, it said that like our world is changing, right? With medical, you know, the medical supported weight loss, all of that, it's changing, but change is good. Change is what brought us here, you know. Change is Dr. A shaking up the medical system and bringing these fundamentals and these core principles out to the world. So it's good. It's just we've got to acclimate to it and be careful that our own stories or victim mentality or whatever might be holding us back from helping others. So the next two, Rebecca and Kelly, I'll have you, if you guys can share in about a minute or less, that would be great.
I'm just
Kelly,
gonna give you
go ahead, Rebecca.
I'm just gonna give you the quote of that, like, took it away from me. I'll give it real quick. And I don't know I think it was Dan Bell who said it. You can count all the seeds in an apple, but you can't count all the apples in a seed. And I was like, whoa.
That's powerful. It really is the ripple effect, right? And the business model that we have and what we have the ability to do. Wow. Thank you.
Hey, quickly, two things.
Yeah.
Two things that Jamel said stood out to me. He said, we can't complain about the results that we don't have from the things that we're not, the actions that we're not taking. So a lot of times we complain about the things that we're not getting, but then we're like, well, am I really taking the action to get there and do what I need to do? And then we don't find opportunities, we create them. That was it right there for me.
100%. 100%. You guys, we can still, if you did not, and maybe you had a conflict, you didn't invest in the Impact 2024, if you want it, you can still access the recordings. And when I post this recording, I'll have a link for you if you want to purchase those recordings. I think the biggest thing for me is the more that I hear Dr. A speak, and especially about the evolution of the medical community and the weight loss drugs that are available, and his association with like, this is our world. This is what's happening. It's not what was out in the past. It is our world, but the foundation and fundamentals of who we are have not changed. And I think that that is what we have to remember. And we'll talk about it again in a minute, but just when I hear Dr. A talk about it so well in terms of what it is we are actually doing. And I like seeing that, you know, some of us are already starting to have conversations, and we're going to circle back to this in just a minute. But so a couple of things. They talked about us raising our coaching game and that sort of thing. So there is a 6-week series that is starting. I posted about it in Coaches, that is starting this Saturday at 11 a.m. It goes for 1 hour, 11 to 12, and is a coach training series called Coach with Excellence. So encourage you, if you really want to expand your knowledge, your skill, etc., would encourage you to participate in that or catch the recordings. I posted the image that has the Zoom link, and you know, I'll keep you informed of all that I know around that. The couple of other things that are very cool that we are doing, and this is to really help you with marketing and to help to spread our message. And so the next two things are 100% designed for you to share with your community, your candidates, as well as your active clients and your inactive clients. And what our goal is to actually have client acquisition, spread awareness of who we are and interest in who we are. And then also with our current clients to help to integrate them into all of the components of the program, and our inactives to bring them back in and to, you know, re-engage, retool, whatever it might be. So the first being this Saturday, the 20th, being our first Healthy Living webinar. So this is something we're doing just within our organizations. We have a wealth of expertise just right here in our community. So, so it's going to be intimate, and it's going to be packed with valuable information. We're going to have inspiring stories from our current clients, from some of our coaches, talking about how they navigate life and the results that they've had with Optavia. And then we're going to talk a lot about the brain and creating habit change and how do we make that happen, dealing with things like emotional eating. So we have two experts in this category, and I had to go out and ask them their credentials because I did not want to understate how valuable they are. But Stephanie Sweetie, she is a nationally certified school psychologist with a specialty in neuropsychology. So her training and expertise is in mental health, learning, and behavior. So she knows her stuff, along with Robin Holworth, who is has her doctorate, also neuropsychology specialized training in brain relationships. So we'll be talking about all of that. This is a virtual webinar. This is for us in the, with our clients, Frank, in the morning. That's from 9 to 10:30. We did it earlier because we wanted for people who had to do things with their kids and that sort of thing to be able to do that. And then it was coincidence that they announced on Saturday about the coach training, and that is coach only at 11. So fortunately, we don't have any overlap there. And then we're going to also have within that hour and a half, we're going to have a live cooking demo of a healthy, lean, and green. And that is going to be from Carolyn Twitchell in our group. So we are mixing it up, trying some new things. I got information from Nancy Strauss. She did it with great success in her organization. So we wanted to replicate something similar for us, and we'll see how it goes. So we're excited. And because Revive and Thrive has thrived so well with us, we wanted to roll that out first so that we could all get our foundation and get our footing under us. And then we roll this out to clients starting on Monday. So Monday the 22nd. So both of these we're asking for registration on them for the webinar. And all of this is in Coaches, and I'll post it in the recording, but we want to be able to send reminders. We want to be able to send thank you notes. We also want them to register so you know who came that you invited. We're going to do prizes for that. We'll do prizes for those who registered, prizes that are on for people that are on live, some wellness credits, that sort of thing that might help somebody get started, or a current client reactivate, or just a current client keep going. So that'll be fun. And we'll do a kickoff call for the client group on that starts the Revive and Thrive. We'll do that on Sunday evening at 8. So a lot happening there. Questions around that? Beth?
I just put it in the chat. Has anybody done an email like to send out to actives, inactives, and potentials? Because I was going to write something, but if somebody's already done so, and sometimes you include that in the coach thing. So I was just wondering if anybody had done it yet.
Not yet, but that is my intention in the morning, Beth, and I'm happy to share the template. What I was going to do is go out with my clients and share both events, kind of like I did. I did a message in Eat, Live, and Be Healthy about, 2 things to light your fire, so I'll do that and I'll save the template. In the coach document or whatever, there's the good, better, and best, right? So good is we send that blanket email out. You do a blanket post on social media, that sort of thing. That's good. It's very surface. You may or may not, from the client base, may get some interest. Better is to send a text or a private message, right? So we're directly reaching out to somebody. And I always would include the WIFM, WIFM. What's in it for them? Why would they want to participate, right? But best is going to be that personal reach out. So best would be the phone call, would be the video message, with, reiterating something that they have told you along the way, or an audio text to somebody. So you know what I mean? So those are layering. So we can layer with a general post, layer with a general email, but the personal invite. And our challenge, our takeaway challenge, in case I don't forget to say it at the end, is that it's real important to set a goal. How many people would you like to have on live on the webinar? Set a goal. Is it 5 people? Is it 10? But set a written goal, and I would encourage you to write it down and text it to your coach. And of your invites, right, about 1 out of 8 of your invites are going to come. And then it's going to require you or going to say they're going to come. It's going to require those follow-ups to get them to actually be there. So 5 is not just inviting 5 people. You would invite more. But there's something about having that vision and intention and the energy you put into the universe, you'll be more likely to have people that will attend. And the same thing will be for the Revive and Thrive. How many participants would you like to have in Revive and Thrive? Encourage you to write it down, share it with your coach. So the Healthy Living webinar, somebody asked what will be covered. We will do a review of all of the components of the program, the fundamentals. How does this all work? How does it all work together? What makes it different? And we're finalizing it. We're going to work on the agenda tomorrow, the specifics, but in an ideal world, we'll have different stories that'll correlate to the different components of the program. So we'll be providing that foundation of who we are, bringing in the inspirational stories, and then we'll also be bringing in the expertise on especially the mindset piece of it, because then we know that is such a primary driver, and then do the healthy living and tips. So it's going to be amazing. All right, we're going to move into medically supported weight loss, because we felt like we did that rapid fire last week. And this is something that we're getting a lot of questions on. And now I know some of you are starting to have conversations around it. So I had talked to Monica last night. She had a question about a client. And so Monica, I just wanted you to kind of share your experience about, actually taking initiative and speaking to somebody about this possibility.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so I had a client, she's been with me a couple years now, and she's really, really struggled. She has quite a bit of weight to lose, about 180 pounds, I think is what her physician is recommending. And we've really tried to keep her on the 5 and 1. We switched to the 4 and 2. Nothing was working for her. And she was very consumed with being hungry all the time, and just kind of very focused, fixated on the weight so much that she couldn't really even think about the books or the community or any of the other wonderful things that we have to offer. So she just really has been on my heart, and I wish that I could figure out something to help her. It's been really bothering me. So when this medically supported weight loss was introduced to us, like she of course first, came to my heart. I was like, oh, this is somebody that can really, I think, be someone that could benefit from something like this. So I was super excited, and I kind of reached back out to her. And it was like perfect timing because she had just gone and they want to do bariatric surgery. She doesn't really want to do bariatric surgery. But she also needs to try something else and show that she's tried something before they do the surgery anyway. So just the timing of it was perfect. So she's actually already been prescribed the Ozempic. And so she has it. She hasn't really started it yet. So that was my question to Dee. I wasn't sure, like, should she still fill out the form? Should she call? But we talked through it, and it sounds like because she has a physician and he's prescribed it to her, unless she feels that we might be able to offer more support than she's getting. It doesn't sound like she's getting really support. They just threw the script at her. So I don't really love that. But I think we're going to start with just reviewing the different plans and what will work for her and go from there. I was kind of dancing around maybe still having her do the phone call just to get a little bit of a feel if that's something she might prefer to her own physician. So that's kind of where we're at. I haven't taken it much past then yet. I think we talk tomorrow. So yeah, but I think it's just, think about the people that you can help with this and don't be afraid to mention it, because you would be surprised that you're going to say it, and they more than likely are going to be either have thought about it, already doing it. So it's just exciting, I think, to offer some new tools to some of those clients that have been challenging, that we've just really, it's breaking our heart that we can't help them. So it's been good. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And interesting, right? So you brought it up, and it turned out she had already had a prescription for it. And I had shared with a couple of people, may have been on Time for You last week, had a client that just randomly texted me, and she was like, she had gotten my newsletter, and she had been a client on program and then just disappeared. Last summer, just disappeared. And it was like off the radar, not responding. And so she said, hey, I just want you to know I'm really appreciating your newsletters. And even though I'm not doing Optavia, et cetera, she said, by the way, I'm 126 pounds. It's the lowest I've ever been as an adult. So I asked the question, and it was like, I said, what do you, thank you for the feedback and et cetera on the newsletter. What do you attribute to your success? And she said she'd been on the weight loss drug for 18 months, and so she had done it. We talked about it, and I just asked her, I said, how's your nutrition? How's your hunger? And she said, at the beginning, I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't even eat. She's now on a maintenance dosage of it, and she's eating every 2 to 3 hours, protein and veggies based on what she had learned. She was a great client, like during the program, et cetera. So I don't know why she chose that path, but she had learned a lot from the principles. So I just shared with her, like, hey, if you need the supplements, or if you know people who are doing this, please keep in mind, this is what we're working on, to be able to help more people. And then I had another client, I was doing her weekly call, and she said, I just feel like maybe we should stop these calls. She's like, I want to do this. I wake up every month, every day, and I start off good. And then by 4 o'clock, I can't stop thinking about food. I'm just into everything. And I brought it up to her because I could have had a choice, like, okay, let me know when you're ready, or I said, I don't know if this is for you or not, but I just want to let you know, she had never heard of weight loss drugs, had no idea what it was. So I was like, listen, I don't know if this is for you or not, but would you like to get more information about it? And so she actually, while we were on the call, was on the website, and she was pre-qualified, et cetera. And then we learned there was a phone number you can actually call. I'm going to share that. Lauren had shared that they can actually call with questions. So, just know we're all learning through this, but the resources are there, and we're trying to pass through information. Optavia has been asking for stories. The Ignite campaign this year they really want stories. Once you start working with clients, or if you have stories of people you've been working with that are having success, they want them to submit their submissions in. I think they're doing $100 Amazon gift card for the first 100 applicants. So just keep that in mind, as well as that we really want to build our library of stories that this combination of working with it together has helped. So let me show you a couple quick things that I think are going to be real important for you to know that they are out there. Give me 1 second. Oops, we don't need Martin Luther again. Hold on. Oops, we don't need him. Hold on. Okay. Okay, somebody just come off mute. Can you see these slides?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. I can't see you. I kind of lost it as I do it. Okay. So Megan went through these, and I'm not going to go through it all again. But I think the biggest thing to remember is that we have not changed. What we offer has not changed. Couple of things we did learn this week is that, and we had talked about last week, not everybody's going to qualify, and it's not right for all clients. Some of the things we've learned from specific incidences is that here's the phone number, and this is posted in Coaches, but candidates can call and LifeMD, and they can actually speak to a medical assistant before they make any kind of commitment to the subscription service and that sort of thing. They will service individuals that are between the ages of 18 and 62. If their BMI is over 30, they are going to be pre-qualified. And if it's 27 plus with weight-related conditions, they're likely going to qualify. They have to go through an interview process. They do take insurance, and they'll help you figure that out, or the individual figure that out. And if it's not covered by their insurance, they do have a compound pharmacy, and I've heard of what some of the rates are for it, and it is very, very reasonable. Very reasonable. And then the other thing I also want you to know is the amount of resources in Coach Answers is amazing what they have put out there. And I'm going to see if I can hop over there for a second to show you, because something new came out. But we got a question last week on Time for You was, what was our liability as coaches if we refer somebody to LifeMD, they go on the drug and there was a problem? And I wrote to compliance, and they politely said, check the resources, it's listed, and cut and pasted me over to the FAQs, which is in Coach Answers, that actually specifically answered that question. So I know there's been things that have been fears of ours, right? That, can we do this? How am I going to be impacted? And that's natural. A lot of this has been addressed by the higher ups. But something that is really cool that is out that I highly encourage you to take a look at. Give me 1 second to find it. Is, and we're going to wrap it up with this. Have you seen this? There is a medically supported weight loss guide, coach sharing guide. And this has the details, you guys, on what you can share, what you should be saying, not saying related to this. So this is specific for us as coaches. And so that is back in the back office as well. And I'll include the link with the recording to this. So they're on it, helping to educate us. And that's when we're talking about coaching with excellence, us staying up to speed is going to be so important. So I know we're past time. Rebecca, did you have a quick question around that before we move on?
The quickest, I think it's pretty quick. I keep seeing LifeMD all by itself in my Facebook. Or we expect to see that, or will they, offer us in their lineup as part of their support, or do you know?
I do not know on that. That would be a hope at some point. I think that, that how that arrangement's going to work right now, it is us bringing clients to them. Would hope it would go the other way. I did see something that said like there's going to be more evaluation later in the year in terms of that agreement and coach compensation. But that is one thing I would be careful. What I tell clients is we have a telehealth firm that we're working with, and I could connect them if possible. I'm not throwing out the name, because if they do go to LifeMD, we do want them to go through your website, your link, so that you are adequately compensated for that. And Optavia is also aware of that affiliation so that they can pay you your commission on that. So we are over time, which is rare that we do that, but I wanted to make sure we could just slow it down a notch. So reminder, your takeaways would be for this week to set your goal for and be actively reaching out to people for the Healthy Living webinar, as well as Revive and Thrive. So that is the conclusion of Team Time. And if you have been part of Revive and Thrive, stay on for our coach huddle right after. Night, you guys.